Let's bring in Laurie Turnbull, who is the director of Dalhousie University School of Public Administration. Today, though, we find her also in the Capitol. Who do you think has the most to gain here tonight, Laurie, in this format? 6 leaders up there on stage over the course of 2 hours.
Okay, so I don't think I can say one person has the most to gain. On some level, they all have the most to gain. I think because of the closeness of the race, we're still looking at Trudeau and Scheer and thinking who's going to be the prime minister. And so they both got a really strong incentive to perform really well, to try to solidify their base as much as they can and to grow, right? They've only got so much time now, and this isn't as long as the last campaign, but it's still long enough. And now people are getting to the point where we're in the second half of the campaign. They're making up their minds. And so I think we're going to see Trudeau and Scheer in a big competition tonight to make sure that they are locking people's votes down. Advanced polls are this weekend. It's go time now.
Yeah, I think you're right as well that for Canadians who may have been following this from a little bit of a distance, now in the final 2 weeks, people will start to pay more attention. They'll see this debate, perhaps for the first time, seeing these people in action. There was a lot of chatter in the beginning when it was announced that Maxime Bernier would take part in this debate, that this would be a big risk for Andrew Scheer because he would get attacked over his conservative credentials from Maxime Bernier, of course, the man who almost beat him out to become leader of the Conservative Party back in 2017. What's at stake here for Bernier? And sort of, is he the wild card here, Laurie?
To a certain extent, he is. I mean, obviously, Bernier is a bit of a known commodity to the extent that he's been a politician for a long time. He's been a cabinet minister. He's not a stranger to us, right? Like, to an extent, we know him. We know what he stands for. We know what we're getting. I think he's obviously is somebody who could have been the leader of the Conservative Party. I mean, if things had gone a slightly different way in that leadership competition, we would have a very different debate. For him, I think, yeah, his goal in this debate is to come to the thing and press Scheer on his Conservative credentials to see what kind of votes Bernier can pick up if Scheer doesn't handle those questions well. And so that's going to be his focus for the night, I think. Rather than to focus on Trudeau, he's going to focus on Scheer.
Oftentimes it's said that the person with the most to lose in any sort of debate like this is, of course, the incumbent. And I wonder whether you think that's the case for Justin Trudeau tonight. His
numbers are pretty good. I mean, and in those polls, right, like there was a discussion of the Nanos polls before you and I came on, but there's the sense that there's a bit of an ebb and flow, right? And so I think if Trudeau wants to be in majority territories, looking at 39% at minimum, he's not there. But at the same time, he's kind of holding his own to a certain extent. People are still making up their minds. So, yeah, I mean, like he's obviously the incumbent. He's obviously got stuff to lose. But still, I think I don't see a major difference in terms of winning and losing for he and Scheer tonight. I think they're pretty well facing the same challenge in terms of holding on to the base and trying to grow as much as they can and not have one cancel out the other.
Let's bring up the preferred prime minister poll as well. This is something that Nanos does the tracking on nightly. And Justin Trudeau has always maintained a lead in this, except I think for 1 or 2 days. And again, we see that he's ahead of Andrew Scheer by close to 5 points. What about Andrew Scheer? When this campaign started, and there have been questions throughout the last 3 weeks or so, Laurie, about Andrew Scheer trying to reintroduce himself to Canadians. And there was a story, of course, on Thursday and Friday of last week about this dual citizenship and questions about that and whether he was a hypocrite over targeting other politicians over their dual citizenship in the past. Your take on what's at stake for Andrew Scheer as the man really who wants to be prime minister and has a very good shot of becoming prime minister.
Yeah, you're right. Like he still has a little bit of a struggle in terms of getting people to get to know him. Absolutely polar opposite to Justin Trudeau's scenario, where many Canadians feel that they know Justin Trudeau. He has this, absolutely electric celebrity status, for better or for worse. And so people sometimes feel a kind of connection to this person. I mean, even from day one when he was selected the leader, people calling him by his first name. There's a sense of familiarity with him. Polar opposite to Andrew Scheer, who is still trying to connect with people. And so we'll see how that plays out, right? Like, celebrity doesn't necessarily mean good things it means you're held to a different kind of standard, again, for better or for worse. But I think, yeah, like Scheer is never going to have that, but he is at this point trying to become a household name and to build trust with people. And so when there's a story that comes out like, I have dual citizenship, people are processing that in a way that is distant from him, right? Because he's not somebody who's familiar to people. And so they process the information differently than they would if they felt like they knew him. And so he's going to be looking into the camera tonight. He's going to be looking to connect with people individually, personally, so that you build a sense of trust with him. And he hasn't got too long to do that.
There we go. We'll see if he's able to do that. Lori, great to have you back. We love having you on CTV as always.
I love being here.
Lori Turnbull joining us from our studios in Ottawa. And a reminder, coming up in about 3 hours and 46 minutes, you will be able to watch the federal leaders debate right here on CTV News Channel, on the main CTV network, on ctvnews.ca. And if you are in the Greater Toronto Area, on CP24, our sister station, all news channel in the Greater Toronto Area as well.